It's a new year. New coaches have taken over successful programs at New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Nicholls State has their title coach back for another title shot. The high schools are geared up and ready to go. So are we. Sports on the Bayou is back. Our very own Cajun Cannon Bobby Hebert, well, he's offering in-depth analysis and game strategies. Former Pro Bowler Rich Marty brings his candid talk back for another year. Mike Detillier will offer his great insight to the sports news each and every week. This year, the vivacious Debbie Cox DeNova will have her own segment, Good Vibes. Our high school expert, Stan Gravois, will be on hand to discuss high school standings. The thumper, Harry McCullough, will focus on Nicholls State's season. The infamous Dr. Pat Hagan is back, and he'll get to ask his question each and every show. This year, our naming sponsors will be a part of the show. Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Alford and Associates, for all of your insurance needs. St. Martin and Bourke, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Some perennial corporate sponsors are also on hand. They are South Louisiana Bank, Bayou, Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute, Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality, BioPure, and BCG Services. This year, I'll assume a new role. I'll be a chief referee who will make sure that everyone gets equal time.
Yeah, right.
Now from the Eugene and Lorraine Falls studios in Houma, Louisiana, it's time for Sports on the Bayou.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Sports on the Bayou. Mike Detillier, along with the Cajun Cannon Bobby Hebert, Rich Marty, and it's almost being a repeat. Man, the Saints, they are who they are, and at least LSU got us on a good track. So we'll be back with more Sports on the Bayou.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Alford and Associates, for all of your insurance needs. And St. Martin and Bourke, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Sports on the Bayou.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our Alford team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
I'm Chris St. Martin.
And I'm Chuck Bourke.
Truth is, nobody wants to hire an attorney. If you're coming to us, it's probably one of the most difficult times in your life.
But it's also true that if you've been injured, you need someone to explain your rights.
Since 1967, St. Martin and Bourke has been helping the people of South Louisiana understand their rights. If you've been injured and want to know more about your rights, call us for a free consultation today.
Sports on the Bayou's corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute, Barker Honda, BioPure, along with BCG Services. Now, back to Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou, guys. Last Thursday night, again with the Saints, it's kind of the same old story, just a different sort of script. This football team got the football, and they moved it up and down the field, but turnovers were a killer. And this once elite defense that we saw a year ago that gave up the least amount of points in the NFC, they gave up 42 to Arizona.
Yeah.
You ain't winning a lot of games that way.
You just wonder if Dennis, and I like Dennis Allen, but you wonder if he can manage the defense and the head coaching duties. And I mean, there's some gap there. It's just they're not an Allen team right now. I mean, they don't have this personality. Yeah. I mean, I think it's time to push the panic button and be he's got to raise the level of attention.
You can push the panic button if all of a sudden the NFC South, that being the NFC South. I mean, look at Tampa Bay.
Right. We're one game out. I know.
No, we're one game out. So that's why you got to compartmentalize the players in the locker room. Got to circle the wagons and say, look, we got to flush what happened. Now, you learn from your mistakes. but you truly take it one game at a time. You know what we need to do? We need to beat the Raiders on Sunday. Don't worry about what's going to happen in the future or what just happened in the past. We got to beat the Raiders, and you think about it. They still control what's going to happen in the NFC South because they still got to play the Bucs again. They got to play the Falcons again. They got to play Carolina. So what if they go 4-2 in the NFC South? So they're still in a situation where it's not the sky is falling. It's falling in a point where we thought at this time we'd be 5-2 instead of 2-5. But that's why you can't panic. But if you look at it, and we spoil now because we're supporting a winner under Drew Brees and Sean Payton. The last time the Saints started 2-5 was 2012. That was the Bounty Gate season, and they finished with a 7-9 record. But you had Drew Brees at quarterback. Now, New Orleans hasn't finished the season with less than 7 wins since 2005. You remember Katrina with Haslett? We were 3-13. I don't think that's going to occur. But the bottom line is, I know one thing. You cannot turn over the football like they're doing, and you got to be able to take it away. Right now, they've committed an NFL high 16 turnovers, have the worst giveaway takeaway ratio minus 10. 4 of their giveaways have been returned for touchdowns. 4 pick sixes. Mike, you might have like 4 pick sixes in like 5 or 6 years.
You got it in half a season.
No, it's amazing the Saints have won 2 games. But all this, I would say maybe they won a game or they didn't even win a game yet. It's amazing they won 2 games when you look at that number.
And then I watched the Bears last night, who was so bad on offense. They rushed for over 240 yards against Belichick's defense.
And Belichick's background is on the defensive side. That was very humbling. It's supposed to show you what Tom Brady meant to that Patriots team and Bill Belichick.
We're going to go to the highlights of the Saints' loss to the Arizona Cardinals. Right off the bat, Andy Dalton back to pass, and he hits it. Rasheen Shaheed. Okay, 2 plays, 2 touchdowns.
Well, we got to get him the ball more. Is that common sense or what? Now,
Bob, maybe explain this play.
Okay, on that play right there, Andy Dalton's forced it in there, but the receiver has to undercut that and not drift.
And then Taysom Hill goes in for the score. And other than the interception at this point, hey, you're looking pretty good. But now your defense is starting to get gashed. Then Taysom... No, excuse me. Andy Dalton throws it.
Marquez
Come on, Callaway, catch the damn ball.
That's not him.
And
that's not Andy.
That's horrible. Just absolutely horrible. And then Dalton again, over the middle. And Isaiah Simmons just sticks that big paw out and comes up with the interception, runs it in for the score.
That throw was influenced by
pressure.
Throgmorton getting beat on the pressure.
And again, over the middle, makes a play. Gets it all the way down to the 7-yard line. But things stall out, and you got to settle for a field goal by Will Lutz. But, man, Arizona, they moved the football up and down the field. And then this little flare out, Jawan Johnson goes in for the score. But at this point, you sort of just chasing points. And, again, defensively.
Well, tackling, if you look at what we've done, we're not tackling well. And the bottom line is that if we're going to win this year, our defense can't be in middle of the pack or even lower than that, or like 18 or 19. We got to be top 10.
Okay, you get a field goal. It's 42-34. The onside kick.
I mean, to get that bounce.
You don't get
they didn't do. Didn't they have? They had no successful onside kicks last year, didn't they?
None.
I mean, I don't know how many they've had this year. You guys should know
well,
that,
then you didn't get that bounce up where then you have an opportunity.
I think they ought to be practicing that a little bit different way, right?
That's exactly. How about practicing the defense to shut it down in the fourth quarter?
Well, when you look at it, this is mind-boggling or shocking. If you look at it in the second quarter, in the span of less than 2 minutes, the Saints went from leading the Cardinals by a touchdown, but then trailing by 14 points. Okay, we're winning by a touchdown. If you went to the bathroom or you went run an errand or something, what? Were we losing? Well, we were just winning by a touchdown.
They couldn't have scored 2 touchdowns that fast.
And now we lose them by 2 touchdowns?
That was the Patriots last night, right?
That was almost the blink of the eye, and it was over with. But guys, listen, if they don't play any better on defense and they keep turning the football over,
they're not winning anything.
You might be a 5-win team.
Yeah, you might.
You might be a 5-win team.
Because they're not dominating special teams either.
Who knows?
Kind of average there.
What's happening in the NFC South? And it happened before. A team can have a losing record like Seattle did and still win the division.
Well, they ended up beating the Saints the Saints were a wild card team, so they had to travel to Seattle to play a team that had a losing record, and that was the Marshawn Lynch monster run.
That's why we have to win the NFC South. Forget about the record. Right now, we got to take care of business in the NFC South, because even
you ain't getting in as no wild card.
Because even if you're down, you still get to host a playoff game. Think about
crazy.
that.
But wait a second. You can't chuck Brady off the chart yet.
I think Father Time then pressed his button. I really do.
Yeah.
We'll be back with more Sports on the Bayou.
Coming up, Sports on the Bayou will go in the audience and introduce the naming sponsors and the guests that have come for this week's show. It's all right after the break.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products, which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
Here in South Louisiana, we know how important it is to protect our families.
When one of our neighbors is injured because of someone else's neglect, our team is compelled to use our experience, skills, and knowledge to seek justice and hold wrongdoers accountable. If you've been injured and want to know your rights, call St. Martin and Bourke today.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by St. Martin and Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Now, back to Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Martin, I'll throw it to you.
All right, thanks a bunch. We're going to be featuring Alford and Associates today. And when you get featured, some of the employees, they take me on the side during the show and they say, "Can I be part of the show?"
Amen.
Justin Bourgeois grabbed me today and said, "Look, I really want a part in this show."
Look, he's prepared. He got a chart and everything.
Got a chart and
But
everything.
you got to
Look
learn
like
how to
Sean
put that
Payton with
microphone on first. Okay.
I drew the short straw.
So
at the
Hunter
table.
said, "Martin, can I please stand in the chair and get the crowd going again?" I said, "Absolutely, Hunter." So Hunter, get the crowd going a little bit.
Hunter,
Y'all watch Hunter.
This is the Tom Cruise of the Bayou.
All right, here we go. While you're doing that, all right, you ready? I want you to introduce the tables for me.
All right, Alford and Associates here. You've got your local insurance providers. St. Martin and Bourke, they're your best local attorneys.
Wait, hold on. Now, give me a little space in between, because Chuck brought Terrebonne High. He brought celebrities all over. And Chuck's always doing a great job for the community. Next.
There you go. We got Rouse's with Tim Acosta, the king of groceries over there.
Look at Tim, the marketing director. We featured them. Tony the Tiger was at Rouse's this week, and we're going to show you that next week for sure.
Oh, wow.
Next.
HTV, you've got that talent table. So much talent, they almost had to get two.
Hey, well, pretty good, Justin. You did. Look, thank God we have Debbie over there to sort of neutralize the looks over there.
Yeah,
Pat, look
you
excited
beautify
over
the
there,
table.
Pat. All right, who's next?
We've got South Louisiana Bank, your local bank.
That's Cal.
Yeah,
Cal, show him a little rhythm. Oh, he's blocked. You see, he's stealing your thunder. Hunter's stealing your thunder. All right, who we got next?
Terrebonne General Health Systems. They're here when you need them.
Percy's in queue. Percy's in queue.
There you go,
I don't know about the rest of them, but let's see. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, Percy's always in the house.
Yes, no doubt. All right, who we got, Justin?
We got Barker Honda. They've got Lester Beamer, the schemer down there, ready to sell you a car.
I like
truck,
that.
van.
Lester Beamer, the steamer. That's pretty
Anything you need.
Hey, I know how to pick talent.
That's it.
And look at it. We've got a legend here. Great Falls. Harry's going to be interviewing him later on. Who we got next?
Bayou Pure and BCG for all your purification needs.
We got Harvey. He owns about every building in Terrebonne Parish in the house
That's
today.
it. Twice.
Is there any building you don't own besides this one?
He finances the other ones.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
All right, very good. I'm proud of Harvey. All right, who we got next?
We've got Terrebonne Parish, Consolidated Government.
There you go. Look, Mike
greatest
Toots
local
and his
government in
gang
the
over
state.
there.
That's right. Showing them how it's done.
Look, got another legend at the next table.
That's right. GIS and the port commissions.
Look who they brought. Coach Don Schwab with him, living
Oh,
legend.
there we go.
All right.
All the Schwabs. We've got our local living legend coaches at the next table here.
Yep, you got Coach Albert, Coach Spinella, Coach Vincent. Put those wins together
Some
with
of the
Coach
best.
Schwab and Great Falls, and boy, you got some winning record.
Definitely. We've got Terrebonne Parish School District educating the future generations of our great community.
Bobby, you recognize your superintendent, huh?
Oh, yeah, Bubba. Yeah. Oh,
Who's a
yeah.
better quarterback, you or Bubba?
Come on.
I'm just asking. That's my job.
Hey, remember our scale here.
The levels.
Yeah.
Remember our scale.
Yeah.
Wait. I'll get the answer right here. Sandra, who's the better quarterback?
It had to be Bubba.
See?
Well, that's a
Holding back. I'm holding him back.
Sometimes the truth is right at the table.
Well, that's some home cooking.
Man.
That's home cooking right there.
Look, we got Tito over
Wait,
here.
we can't quit.
Yeah, don't
Wait.
quit. Hunter, do your job
Keep
over there.
going, Hunter.
right.
Terrebonne Economic
So-
Development Association.
Yeah, Cohen doesn't realize it, but all last week, when I'd pass this table, Tammy Haydell would go, hotty toddy, hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy.
How'd that work out for you?
Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy.
Gosh almighty.
Not.
All right. Hey, Candace controls all the money at the parish. Just let you know, she walked in with a purse about 4x4. I don't know what's in it, and Bobby Bartell sitting next to it. That don't surprise me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, who we got next?
We've got Cardiovascular Institute of the South.
Well, they're obviously doing a few
Yeah, they're doing more
procedures
important
today.
business today.
Yeah, keeping people alive.
Definitely. And we've got the false mamas table. We've got aunties here. We've got cousins. We got the whole false family.
Yep, we got the Calhouns, the Roby shows. We got my cousin Francis and Donna. And my Aunt Miriam, she does like my mama. She sort of hides behind the glass here. So there you have it. Y'all doing okay in there? Okay, Mr. Donnie, good to see you moving back there. All right.
Hey, Ole Miss fans can't talk crap to LSU fans. Ole Miss was 7-0 coming into the game. That's why they were ranked top 10, because they were undefeated. They lost for the 7th consecutive time in Baton Rouge. His last victory was in 2008. Also, the Rebels thought a perfect, or I should say, brought a perfect record, coming in the top 10 ranking at the Tiger Stadium. For the 6th time since Billy Cannon days, 1958, they're now 1-5.
All right.
So, man, you know how we want to
save some of that for the LSU segment.
No, you know how we want to you know how we want to overcome.
You ain't gotta worry about it.
We want to overcome Alabama. Well, Ole Miss can't talk crap to LSU fans. You know, I don't want to say the word that rhymes with miss, but we on Ole Miss.
So she wasn't calling you hotty toddy.
All right. Look, now we have some naming sponsors we feature every week. We have Priscilla Larpenter. She does so much for the community and the company. Priscilla, why don't you introduce everybody here, and then we'll let you talk a little bit. All right.
All right. I'm Priscilla Larpenter with Alfred & Associates. I've been with Tony Alfred's office for over 26 years. Tony Alfred is our CEO and president.
There he is.
He's not here today. He's on his way back from Kansas. Shout out to tell you all hello. He wished he would have been here.
So what was he in
couldn't get him
Kansas,
back.
bird hunting or something?
No, let me just say a little. Tony's the president of our levy district, and he does this company. Let me just tell you about this company. They sit in, they got a job. They collect insurance and do that thing. But so much for the community. Y'all do a great. Y'all give yourselves a hand. Everybody ought to give a hand. They're always doing things in the community. What are some of the things? I think Erica's going to tell us what they...
Yeah, she's going to kind of go over a few things.
Go ahead, Priscilla.
Then we have Katie Alford Frohmeyer. She's coming back from maternity leave. She had a baby a couple of months ago.
Congratulations.
She's been with us. She is VP of Sales. We have Joshua Alford. He is our VP of Technology, and he's in sales. He's been with us a while. That's the Alford side, and I'm going to kind of go over the associates. Kelly DeCourcy is our CFO, so she controls the purse strings. She gives Tony his allowance.
Where's your big purse at? Like Candace has over there.
That's who I want to talk to.
Cassie McElroy has been with us, 16 years.
Y'all wave when they mention you, okay.
Shauna Liner has been with me for 24 years. Hired her when she was a baby.
They don't look like they're 24.
Erica is our service manager, and she's going to introduce the sales team to you.
All right, Erica.
All right, so I've been with Alfred & Associates now for 6 years, and so I am the service executive, and then we have Hunter Olson, who's the newest addition to our sales team. We have Errol Duplantis, who's also in sales, and he's our in-house pharmacist. And then lastly, we have Justin Bourgeois, who's also in sales, and he specializes in property and casualty.
All right, we got a.
Well,
Justin,
thanks
you
for
did
bringing
pretty
your
good.
sister here today.
Yeah. Justin, you did good. And look, Hunter, you got that clap. I'm going to call you the clapper. Okay? Is that okay?
Wait, no, that's not good.
No, he
That's
got
another name.
He's
That's
a
not
good-looking man. He looks
It's a
like the
different
top, the top
connotation.
Yeah,
cruise
he's
of the
looking,
Bayou.
she's looking for a shot in Hollywood.
He looks like a male model.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, y'all do a great job for the community. And Priscilla, tell me some of the challenges with Ida, but y'all did a great job getting through it.
We made it. I think we more or less specialize in the benefits. We do have a little PNC, which was, I think everyone kind of went through a lot with that, with their homes, with their businesses. It's been a challenge. I think a lot of people had to really do the extra time to get things done. It's still a long road, though. We're going to be fighting with insurance companies for premiums. It's just going to be a long road for us. And with Florida getting slammed, it didn't help us.
So that's a big word, PNC. What does that mean?
Property and casualty.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I learned something
Erica,
every
what
day.
are some, I know y'all do so much in the community, just right off the cuff, what are some of the things y'all support? Besides this show? Okay.
Well, we support you always.
Thank
Josh and I actually recently competed in the Junior Auxiliary Dancing with the Stars. We also support like Mary Bird Perkins, Roof for a Reason. We're involved in SCIA, the Chamber, Girls on the Run. So we're all throughout the community.
Absolutely. I got to say something when
So
I had
Martin needs to be on Dancing with the Stars.
No, that's never going to.
Yes,
you go
he
first and
needs
I'll
to.
follow.
Next year, next year.
He would be good.
Yeah.
He'd be good.
I could talk to somebody for
Twinkle
you. I know
Toes
some
A
people.
Bear, you go first.
No,
Bobby, I saw some of
can
your
dance.
moves. I think you should be on Dancing
Well,
with
No,
the
get up,
he
get up,
could.
give us a little move.
He could.
No, well, I got to hear music. I
All
can't
right,
just like.
wait, guys, get it ready. Oh, yeah, okay. So look, when I had a hole in my roof, I got to say this. I was up there trying to tar the roof and stop the leak. Justin Bourgeois, stand up. He showed up with buckets of tar, got on the roof, and patched that hole with me. That don't happen every day.
Yeah, wait.
So-
What you said with you? You got up on
Hey,
the roof,
was I up
Martin?
there?
Oh, he showed up. Yeah.
He supervised.
I like that. Martin went on the
No, truthfully, when Justin showed up, I got down.
He
But hey,
supervised.
that don't happen every
Yeah,
day.
right.
He stepped
Exactly,
up.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you so much for that. So y'all give a hand to Alford and Associates. And Mike, we'll be right back.
All right.
Coming up on Sports on the Bayou, we'll talk LSU football. We'll break down the highlights and analysis of this week's game and the upcoming game. You won't want to miss it. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Sports on the Bayou.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products, which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our Alford team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford and Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Looking to achieve a healthier lifestyle but have little time? The Terrebonne General Executive Health Program can improve your overall health for a lifetime in one visit. With little to no waiting, you get a whole year of wellness in one convenient location. Our preventative screenings increase your well-being by providing early detection against illness. With exceptional VIP service, you leave with a plan in hand to achieve a healthier lifestyle tailored for you. Call the Terrebonne General Executive Health Team at 985-850-6204 today.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. And St. Martin and Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Now, back to more Sports on the Bayou.
Back here on Sports on the Bayou, guys, for the second straight week, really stellar performance by Jaden Daniels. You think about from the start of the season until today, man, Jaden has really made great strides as a passer. We all knew he was a great athlete, could run. in my lifetime, I've never seen a guy that can run the football at quarterback better than Jaden.
They haven't had it, Mike. They haven't had it.
Never.
If you look at Jaden Daniels, finished with 121 yards, 23 carries, now has 524 yards rushing. Topping the old mark, LSU mark of 450 yards. That was by Jordan Jefferson, Justin's older brother, back in 2010. And then, Mike, you just look, he's a playmaker, giving him, touchdowns 9 for the season, rushing the football. That was, he broke the mark that was 7 by a number of quarterbacks, and Joe Burrow was the last to do it back in 2018. So it ain't over yet. Jaden Daniels getting up having double-digit rushing touchdowns.
The other thing, too, is how well their offensive line has played.
Yes.
2 freshman tackles, a freshman tight end, and you running the football when you need to and you have to. And one thing I'll say about Jaden Daniels, man, he is fast. You think you got an angle on him? You saw 3 Ole Miss defenders think they had him at the goal line, and he outraced them and then jumped into the end zone.
I can tell you right now, yeah, I would be shocked if Alabama would blow out LSU like Tennessee did. I don't know if we're going to win, but I think the game's going to be
close.
close.
And then early on in this game, Jackson Dart, who was really hot, 9 of 10 to start the game, hits a big pass to Jonathan Mingo, and then Quinshon Judkins comes in for the score. And then on a little delay, and again, Jaden Daniels running it up the middle.
He takes hits.
And throwing it out in the flat. And that number 2 guy is somebody we know a little bit. Kyron Lacey from Thibodeau High School comes in for the field goal now to make it 7-3. But Dart was red hot early in this game, and he gets it down. Again, touchdown play where Judkins comes in for the score.
Well, Mike, if you look at it, it was the 4th consecutive game LSU defense allowed a touchdown on the opening drive. Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, now Ole Miss. Previously did it to the Tigers, but it doesn't matter if they're behind 14-3. They come back with a vengeance and can handle that adversity.
Then I've seen this before with Ramos. He misses a field goal, so it's still 14-3. A lot of pressure. Again, hitting right over the middle. And I think this surprised LSU's coaching staff, that Ole Miss didn't come out and just run the football at you. They had great success.
And it's 17-3 going into the second quarter.
And then Daniels starts to heat up, throws it out in the flat to Josh Williams for a first down. And then a lot of time, no pressure on him.
That's great protection.
And then Jeray Jenkins comes back in.
Well, at the beginning of the season, he wouldn't have thrown that pass because the receiver wasn't open, but give the receivers a chance.
Then Mason Taylor, the freshman, his dad's in Pro Football's Hall of Fame, Jason Taylor. And then again, Daniels in for the score. And now you got a tie football game. Dart throws it downfield, hits a wide open receiver, gets it down, and then they got to settle for, guess what, a field goal. Makes it 20-17.
Well, Mike, you look at the last 2 drives, they held them out of the end zone, forced them to kick field goals.
Josh Williams up the middle, and then again, this little flare-out Bob. That is a really nice diagnosed play.
That was the perfect play called to attack Ole Miss right
24-20, then Dart again gets him moving, gets it down to the 40-yard line. But this may have been the play of the game. Joe Fouché, an Arkansas transfer, McDonough 35 guy, comes in, the critical interception, and then Daniels after that really heats up again. Kyron Lacey from Thibodeau makes a score. Then watch this. They got a beat on him. He outruns 2 guys into the end zone for the score. Now it's 31-20. But one thing with Brian Kelly, he kept his foot on the accelerator. Jaden Daniels goes in, gets it down to the 30-yard line for a first down, and then he pulls it in, and he runs it in for the score.
He looks like he's just chilling out, but he's moving faster than you think.
Yeah, a lot faster. Then pressure again on Jackson Dart, and he saw a lot of that in the second half. B.J. Ojolari.
Harold Perkins,
a true freshman. And then LSU scores again with Josh Williams. And Lane Kiffin's like, what in the world happened here? 45-20. Guys, when I watch Jaden Daniels, he reminds me, and it's a little different style player, but he reminds me a little bit of the guy that was at Alabama and Jalen Hurts. He goes to Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley, develops as a passer, and now you look at his progress with the Eagles. There's a lot of similarities between Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts. as players. You thought of him as runners. Now, all of a sudden, they start to heat up as a passer, and he's trusting the receivers now.
Well, you can teach him how to pass the ball. You can't teach him how to run like that.
Not like he can.
Not like those guys. So.
He's at another level.
And the thing is could be, is he staying at LSU? Is he going pro, whatever? But I think he'd be even getting better. Now, you want to stay healthy if he even came back to LSU next year. Then you look at the prospects. Wouldn't you think, Mike?
I would agree.
And now the one thing with Alabama, November the 5th, coming to Tiger Stadium. Now, the one thing, and this has to drive Nick Saban crazy, is that, we always talk about, because we gave the Saints the business, and, Dennis Allen, the team's undisciplined, look all the penalties. Do you know Alabama right now, it's not a few penalties, it's a lot of penalties. Right now, the Crimson Tide is 130th out of 131 FBS teams been the most penalized. So hopefully that continues against LSU, because Mike, anytime I tell you 9 or more penalties, 100 yards. So Alabama has shot themselves in the foot a number of times with the penalties.
When I look at Alabama, they don't have the dynamic receivers. They had Jalen Waddle and a Henry Ruggs, those type guys, and they look sort of average at receiver. The one guy who's not average, Jahmyr Gibbs. No, he is at another level. In my opinion, if he comes out for the draft, which he will, he's the top-rated running back in his draft.
Well, Mike, I'm glad you brought it up, because here's the transfer portal, transferred from Georgia Tech. He's been a force. He's the SEC's third leading rusher, as well as a dangerous receiver. Mike, how you can utilize him out the backfield.
We'll be back with more sports on the Bayou.
Coming up, Debbie Cox DeNova will have her Good Vibes segment. Stick around. You may learn something.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our offered team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
I'm Chris St. Martin. Many of us know what it means to have roots here on the Bayou. I'm no different. My family has been here for generations. Likewise, the firm of St. Martin & Bourke has been helping the injured in this region for almost 50 years. We're honored to serve the people of South Louisiana and the Bayou region. Remember, if you've been hurt in an accident and you want to know your rights, call St. Martin & Bourke today to schedule your free consultation.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Alford & Associates, for all of your insurance needs. And St. Martin & Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Now, back with more Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. It's our Good Vibes segment with Debbie. So you got it, huh?
Hi. Okay, so we're talking about handling success today, and this is a topic that was inspired by a conversation that you, Rich, and I had after the show last week, and it's about the added pressure of actually getting to the top of your sport. We already know that with elite athletics, there's an amount of pressure that comes with that mentally and emotionally. But what about when you reach the top? Success. There are a lot of examples of people who crack under the pressure of that. And so when we're talking about, on the one hand, you're considered a commodity whose only value is as good as your recent performance. On the other hand, to Bobby's point about social media, nowadays they'll pick your personal life apart as well. They'll amplify it, they'll twist it. It's a lot of pressure, right? So this is really a conversation about mental health. We have about 34% of current elite athletes who are depressed or have anxiety, 26% of former athletes, and that's of the people who are willing to admit to it, because as we know, there's a stigma to it, a lot of people believing that mental illness equals mental weakness. The first person who actually started talking about mental illness publicly was Jimmy Pearsall, whose baseball career inspired a film called Fear Strikes Out. We know that he was considered baseball's biggest psychopath. He was the first elite athlete who was blackballed by the American media because of his antics, his fights, his mental breakdowns. We have Terry Bradshaw with depression and anxiety. We have Antonio Brown, whose antics are all over the media. We have a lot of elite athletes who are now speaking out about mental health issues. We have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who talks about his depression and anxiety. Michael Phelps, who talked about suicidal ideations. We have Serena Williams, who talked about her depression after losing Wimbledon. So these two risks are here: performance anxiety, but also loss of identity. Because we know in a lifetime, your sports career is a very short period of time, and what a lot of elite athletes will experience is something called unidimensional identity. Unidimensional identity meaning that I am a sports performer only, right? So when there's an injury or you're ending your career, that affects mental health. And I think that the conversation about mental health in sports needs a lot more attention. And I'm curious to know what you guys think is the secret to fortifying mental health when it comes to specifically succeeding in athletics.
Ooh. I don't know. I got tired. Man, that's not so much information. That's awesome. I was like, "Whoa, my brain's fried." No.
Well, you started out that way. Is the problem?
No. The thing is, you have to be able to compartmentalize. See, you can't take anything personal. I think you have to be able to compartmentalize the situations that you're in. And even though you're handling a lot of adversity, the sun's going to rise tomorrow morning. Demario Davis even said that. He's getting away. He's with his family. But I think, to me, it's harder to stay on top than to get to the top.
Yep.
Because, once you get to the top, man, everybody's shooting for you. If you're an underdog, then everybody's cheering for you. But once you're in the top, everybody wants to cut you down. And then, we like to cut down people, build them back up, cut them down. It's a whole cycle. Like right now, Tom Brady, he should have stayed. He should have blew up football. Now look at his marriage and all that. What if Tom Brady comes back and it's unbelievable? Then what you have to be able to compartmentalize. It's tougher. It's a lot easier said than done. But I know when you face an adversity, that you have to be able to understand that, woe is me. No, you're not the first person that has been dealing with this. It don't matter what the sport. There's a lot of people that have been dealing with success and failure. You just got to be able to handle that. You got, whether it's counseling or whether from within or how you pray to God or, the peace of God that passes all understanding, whatever it might be, you have to feel good about yourself. And I think it also comes, and not everyone's in this situation, your family upbringing. Can you lean upon your mom and dad? Or it might be a mentor or coach, or it might be an uncle, someone that could give you that confidence. Because if you can physically, I always said this, if you can physically do something in practice, you can do it in the real game. You can't look at it, I'm playing at 100,000 people. No, then you're going to play all tight. You have to be able to compartmentalize and handle the situation, and I think that's how you ultimately have success.
Yeah, these people that are in athletics, they work so hard. The sacrifices they make, it's not a normal thing. We view them, and you see these guys doing crazy things. Football's, it's like the Roman empires. We're just not killing anybody, so they got to be deprogrammed.
We'll be right back with more sports on the Bayou.
Coming up, Harry McCullough with a live studio guest as Sports on the Bayou continues.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products, which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
Here at South Louisiana Bank, we support our neighbors, the organizers, the helpers, the leaders, the dreamers. We support those that move our community forward. Louisiana has grown from the dedication, commitment, and loyalty of the people who call this beautiful place home. We are proud to offer our services to the communities in South Louisiana. South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together.
BCG Services, local experts for concrete leveling and foundation repair, providing quality solutions for a variety of foundation issues. With years of experience applying Floor Shield products to both homes and businesses, you can trust our team to provide high-quality results. Call for a free consultation.
Whether it's your home or your business, Bayou specializes in disinfection application. along with water, fire, mold damage cleanup. Call Bayou Pure today to get your free consultation at 985-322-3003.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by St. Martin and Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Now, back to Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. H, I'll throw it to you.
Hey, thank you, Mike. I got another coaching legend this week. In fact, one played with Coach Albert at Nicholls State. But Coach Gray Falls, thanks so much for being with us, Coach. He's a
glad to be here.
Longtime basketball coach. He started at Thibodeau College in '56, went to Nicholls, and that where you played with Pop Gun at Nicholls. But then you started your coaching career at down in Bayou in Chauvin at St. Joe's, and you won a state championship there. How'd that kind of lay the foundation for what turned out to be a great career?
Well, it was a big challenge. Football is Louisiana's sport, so basketball is a real challenge to get a good team. And we work hard at it. We work in the summer, and then eventually we had good enough players that we made it to the state championship.
Yeah, you guys always were in shape too. And after that, you know, St. Joe shut down in '72. You go to Terrebonne for a year, and then H.L. Bourgeois had a great run, and then finished in Delgado for many years, where you won a couple of national championships there with the Dolphins of Delgado. So, tell me about basketball, and that seemed always to be your philosophy. We got to be in better shape. We got to pick guys up the entire way, but that seemed to be your philosophy.
Well, we used to get them in good shape because basketball, you never stop. You're always constantly moving. And I was able to recruit some good kids. And when we start winning, better kids, and then eventually good enough to play in the championship games.
Yeah. Tell me about some of those kids. We talked about Harold and Carol Boudreaux. You got one of the twins that came in there. They were good friends with Shaquille O'Neal. I remember all at the same time. I followed those guys from Cecilia High School before they played with you and in different areas. But tell me about some of the players that you remember coming through the program.
Well, Carol was a player. He had problems with grades. So I went to talk to Dale Brown and said, why don't you put him in a junior college? We'll see that he makes the grades. And then when he leaves here, then he'll be ready to play for you. And so we reached that agreement.
Yeah, and you guys had some good players. Let me talk to you about today's game in college basketball. What do you see? You know, I'm sure you sent a lot of guys from Delgado to college basketball, but now with the transfer portal and everything that's going on, especially NIL deals now, what do you see in today's game? Do you like or don't like?
Well, there's no portal. You have to recruit a player, and he has to play for you for about 3 years. And then you have to get him ready to move on or just dissolve his career.
Right. And is that hard to do nowadays, you think?
Well, I think it's very hard.
You got to recruit them every year, right? It's hard to get on guys.
Right,
You got to
the
recruit
players are bigger and stronger.
Yeah, for sure. And being able to move, you think that's going to hurt the game a little bit? Not only guys going to the NBA, but just going from team to team.
I think it'll hurt because you have to make your way. And the only way to show it is after 4 years. After 4 years, they know whether you're ready to go to the NBA.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think we get a lot of guys that aren't grown up yet when they get there and don't always, have a system and the preparation to go there, support system when they go there. Final question here, Coach. Think about all the players, and we talked about, my wife's a teacher, and you think about, you're more of a teacher, you're a teacher as a coach. But how many lives do you think you touched over the years that have come through your program and kind of changed their lives as well?
Well, I get a lot of phone calls from guys that I used to coach. And I go back to reunions and talk to them and all. It's just great to see them and see that they made something of their lives.
Yeah, it's always good. What's your favorite spot? Did you have a favorite?
No, one of the best athletes I had was named Dwight Savan. He played football, basketball, baseball, and ran track. He got a scholarship to UL. He was a heck of a football player. And his coach said he's never seen a guy could hit harder than Dwight Savan.
It's so funny you say that. I was talking to a guy that played with Ross Falkenberry's football team at UL, and he was saying, man, you ever know this guy, Dwight Savan? He said he was a little safety, but he'd come up and hit people harder. He said knock himself out half the time, but he was a really, really good player. So he was one of those guys, huh, Coach?
Yes, he was. He was special.
Great basketball player as well. All right, Great Falls, thank you so much. We enjoyed it, man. Appreciate your time coaching all of our men from around South Louisiana.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with more Sports on the Bayou right after this.
Coming up, Dr. Pat gets to ask his question of the week as Sports on the Bayou is right around the corner.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our offered team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Structural heart disease refers to a defect in the heart's valves, walls, or chambers that keeps the heart from pumping blood properly. Valve or structural heart problems may be present at birth or develop over time. Your risk increases if you have high blood pressure, plaque buildup, history of heart attack, take certain medications, or have certain heart infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General provides innovative solutions and devices with the latest technology to bring the best possible outcomes for patients. Learn more at cardio.com.
Sports on the Bayou's corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute, Barker Honda, BioPure along with BCG Services. Now, back to Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Doc, you got it.
Questions. Why you asking all them questions? Why you asking all them questions?
Make a statement.
Yes.
Bobby, you really should be on Dancing with the Stars.
Well, no,
he should be. I'm telling you,
the thing is, I might be uncoachable though, because sometimes I just get in my own move and I start. You gotta do the routine, you know.
He might be uncoachable.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm not gonna comment on that. Ballroom dancer over here. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you last week, but I didn't get a chance. That the coaching of the LSUs regarding the quarterbacks. In that 2 weeks ago, Coach Kelly talked about Jaden Daniels, that we're trying to speed up his feet and slow down his eyes. And I knew exactly what that meant, because in the martial arts, if your feet are slow or sluggish, as soon as you see an opening, it's too late. You're not in position, you're not ready. And it indicated to me that they're able to pick up on little bitty things that can make a big difference in Jaden Daniels' performance and the ability to keep coaching. And I wanted you to comment on that. And Rich, I wanted you to comment on how LSU, after the first couple of drives and they're down, they're going a 42-3 run, and consistently they're able to make adjustments when down in the middle of the games that the other teams just can't, and they have no answer for. Kiffin had no answer once LSU made their adjustments. And he had a halftime to try and fix it.
I mean, you got to give Kelly credit for that, obviously. I mean, it's still, he's his first year. These kids are still adjusting. They're getting better every week. You see that. You can see the confidence. You know, no panic, no nothing. You can see the confidence as the game goes on. So I think, and these guys know more about it than I do, it's a Kelly influence that these kids are getting confidence in him.
Well, and the thing is, listen, you have to be a coach and understand you got great players. You're trying to keep everybody happy. But I know Harold Perkins needs to freaking play. and, you know, whether he's coming off the edge, whatever, even Lane Kiffin said, that was kind of the difference. The pressure when he's rushing B.J. Ojolari and he coming off the edge. No, Harold Perkins, they got to find a place for him. There's no reason why, I don't know, if you look at, let's say 60, 65 defensive snaps, he don't need to be playing 20.
Right.
He needs to play
playing in the 40s.
Yes, the majority of that. So when I look at that now, as far as the footwork with a quarterback, there's not too many quarterbacks that can have success or be accurate throwing the football if they're not in balance.
Right.
And that comes with your footwork. Now Pat Mahomes, he could be like, doing this and all. There's not too many players that could do that. But I'm saying if you're purely trying to play the quarterback position, you have to have that balance. If you look at Jane Daniels, when he's not accurate, is because his pre-snap read, his anticipation, and then his feet are out of whack.
Right.
Because he could throw the football. That's not a problem. So that process, breaking it down and coaching him to be disciplined, like with your footwork, and then what you're seeing pre-snap. You have to be where you almost know with the defense how they're trying to stop you before you snap the ball. Now, you have to be able to make adjustments now and then, but if you're really good at your craft, like a Tom Brady, and that's why he's the GOAT, it's like the pre-snap read, 80% of the time, he knows who's going to be open and where he's going with the ball. Now, you might say, well, look, he went to his second, third read, and he knew he was going to probably go there because Holly's moving the defenders with his eyes and he's coming back to that target. That's what makes the position, and you truly get to the point where you can influence the defense instead of the defense influencing you.
Right.
The other part of it is, and I'm not going to say who told him this, but he was told by a coach at LSU, you're not throwing to Arizona State receivers anymore. Trust your receivers.
Right.
Over the last 3 games, his completions, 73% of them have been to the wideouts.
Yeah.
Before that, it was 53.
Well, you have to get to the point.
You got to understand, you're not playing at Arizona State.
Yeah, when you
These guys are going to play in the NFL, every one of them.
When you trusted like a Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Butte, or whoever, when you look at, they look covered, but you know what? In theory, they're not really covered. It's a 50-50 ball, but it's more 60-40, 70-30 in your favor. You just got to get the ball. It's like going up for a rebound. Like if Rich and I was going up for a rebound, I'm going to get it over Rich. But no, I'm joking.
You can't get off the ground. I can still jump.
No, that's true.
Thank you, Doc. I appreciate it. We'll be back with more Sports on the Bayou.
And right after the break, Stan Gravois takes a look at key high school football games on Sports on the Bayou.
Here in South Louisiana, we know how important it is to protect our families.
When one of our neighbors is injured because of someone else's neglect, our team is compelled to use our experience, skills, and knowledge to seek justice and hold wrongdoers accountable. If you've been injured and want to know your rights, call St. Martin and Bourke today.
At Barker Honda, we have the aggressive all-new Honda Ridgeline. Ridgeline has class-leading cab space, easy folding seats for storage, standard all-wheel drive, versatile tailgate, automatic in-bed lighting, plywood lies flat in the truck bed, large rear storage for work, ice chest with drain, or whatever. And remember, it's better at Barker.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Alford & Associates for all of your insurance needs. Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. And St. Martin & Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Now, back to more Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Stan Gravois does a great job covering the high school ranks, and he's got a feature for us that we're going to go to right now.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Terrebonne General Community Sports Institute High School Weekly Football Report. Today we're going to take a look back at week 8 of the high school season, and we'll look forward to the playoffs, looking at all the playoff scenarios.
In what was billed to be a close one in Berwick, just wasn't. E.D. White ran all over the Panthers. They got out to a 45-0 lead. They win it easily, 45-21. In Matthews, it didn't take long for Thibodeau High to take control of their game with Central Lafourche. As a matter of fact, it happened on the opening kickoff. Owen Murrell hauls it in, and he goes the distance for the Tigers. They built up a 40-0 lead in this game. They go on to win it quite easily over Central Lafourche, 40-21. And in Berg, Vanderbilt Catholic put on a terrific offensive display against Ellendale Memorial. Dominic Archella on the touchdown reception here of 57 yards. And Jalen Coleman on the touchdown later in the game. Jalen had 320 yards rushing. Vanderbilt wins it 64-38. In other scores around the Bayou region, East St. John handles Terrebonne. St. Louis Catholic just too much for South Lafourche. South Terrebonne on a little winning streak. Assumption gives Lutcher a struggle, but the Bulldogs come out on top. Hornville blasts H.L. Bourgeois. St. James no problems with Donaldsonville. Ascension Catholic thrashes CCA. Houma Christian no problems with Jefferson Rise. And Central Catholic of Morgan City shuts down Hanson Memorial 60-14. In the Division I non-select bracket, Terrebonne and Thibodaux both can get in if they win out, but that ain't going to happen because they play each other next week. In Division II non-select, Assumption is in if they win just one of their last two. Ellender on the outside looking in after that big loss to Vanderbilt Catholic. In Division II select, E.D. White in, and now Vanderbilt looking good with that win over Ellender. In Division III non-select, Berwick in, but they are dropping. In Division III select, Houma Christian on the rise. They need to get into the top 24. They need to win out. And finally, in Division IV select, Covenant Christian still has a chance to get in, but they probably need to win one of their last two. The big Bayou region game this week with playoff implications, Terrebonne at Thibodaux. And a final reminder, we hope you can come celebrate 200 years of sports in Terrebonne Parish with us this Thursday night at the main library in Houma. It's free, folks. It all gets kicked off at 6 p.m. Sports memorabilia will be on display. You can see an original 1946 Houma Indians Evangeline League stock certificate, or the 1959 St. Francis State Championship game ball, or how about a 1965 Black Beret, or a football helmet from St. Joseph Benedictine under Sonny Jackson. All of the memorabilia will be on display in the conference room over at the main library. And the highlight of the night is a 70-minute documentary featuring the greatest that our parish has to offer, both individually and as teams. And we'll wrap up the evening with a look at the importance of the recreation departments in our parish. Again, it's free to the public this Thursday night, 6 p.m. at the main library in Houma, located right across from the Marriott on Civic Center Boulevard. Hope to see you there.
Coming up on Sports on the Bayou, we'll put the naming sponsors against the host in picking the scores of the games this week. Who'll be the closest? We'll see if the sponsors can beat the experts as Sports on the Bayou continues.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products, which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
If you are suffering from chronic cough, bronchitis, reactive airway, or persistent asthma that's difficult to control, or diagnosed with COPD, please listen carefully. You may be suffering from allergy sinus bronchial asthma syndrome. For as we now know that undetected or uncontrolled infection in the upper airway can affect the lower respiratory tract. If this is happening to you, please call us for an evaluation.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Alford & Associates for all of your insurance needs. And St. Martin & Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Now, back with more Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Martin, you got it.
All right, Chuck Bork's going to help me go through the scores because you'll see later that they won one this week, so they're on the winning team.
Chuck.
They're on the winning team.
Got one finally.
I'm proud of you.
Well, he's winning and his Horned Frogs are winning.
Yeah. All right.
Early today.
All right, so let's go to the graphics here, Chuck. Who we got? Look who won.
What?
Debbie.
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 I told you she was the brains of
The
that
psychologist won.
Good job,
Saints
Debbie.
20, Cardinals 37.
Excellent job.
Good, that's damn
All right,
good, Debbie.
Next up.
Really good.
There you go.
Then we got on the LSU. We've got Bobby, Rich, St. Martin, and Bourke.
A three-way tie.
It's
Great
like a
minds
three-way
think
tie.
alike,
So does
huh?
that mean I got to share my prize with those two?
It does.
No. It does.
I'll give it to you, Chuck.
I don't know if I'll call that a victory then.
All right, next.
Then we got Mike Detillier and Stan Gravois in the Nichols game.
Oh, nice.
Which Coach Scott told me to say, hey, guys, Nichols won one. You're not giving him any love.
Yeah, well,
What happens this week?
Well, win
Let's see what
this
happens
week.
this week.
They're going to
Win
be
this week.
Leicester will be so disappointed if they don't beat Lamar. I know
Lamar's
that.
hadn't won a game, right?
Lamar's not very good.
They haven't won a game.
All right, next up.
All right, now we got the winning pick standings, and I'll got to
Hey,
over a little bit.
You might need to get closer.
That print is really small, Martin, but I think I see Stan at the top.
Stan is at the top.
Stan is at the top.
Hey, wait a second. Excuse me. The
Harry.
least.
Hold on.
Come on, Harry.
No. Stan is at the top, and he said we should go no further.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to brag about
Harry.
second place,
Hold on.
but you know what?
You got to step up, Harry. Class of 78. Don't look at the class of 71 and 72 back here giving you trouble.
Who was second
73.
place? I didn't see. I couldn't really read that.
Well, I can tell you something, but the least
That's right.
knowledgeable guy on this panel right is in second place. So I'm
There you
wondering
go.
about all this research and study crap.
There you go.
Yeah, no, that's
just
true.
not
Hey, listen, people should listen to you and Debbie. About who to
And I'm
pick.
not bragging about second place.
Harry,
'cause
we
that's
got to
not
talk
good enough.
after the show.
That's not good enough, Deb.
Harry, who's going to win the World Series? Let me see. I'm going to go against it. Who's going to win?
Not the
Astros?
not the
Astros
Yankees.
or the Phillies?
In 4?
No.
No, in 6.
Astros and
Yeah,
six.
I'd buy that. Yeah.
They're too
All right,
good.
next
Pitching's
up.
too good.
All right, we had the winning pick standings. Pick of the week. So we got Bobby Hebert's picks first. He's going to pick Saints over the Raiders at 27-24. LSU's a buy, so that's
I'm
an easy
picking
pick.
LSU.
Bobby, that's an easy pick.
Yeah.
And he's got going to make him happy. He's got Nichols over Lamar, 34-20.
All right, next up.
Next, Rich. Rich also picks the Saints, 28-21. Again, he's gone with the buy on LSU. Good choice. He's got Nichols with a little bit bigger spread, 31-10.
Wow, all right. Next.
Then we got Mike. Mike's going to go with the flow. Also picked the Saints over the Raiders. Of course, LSU on the bye. And he's got Nichols losing. So,
Come on, Mike.
all right. We'll deal with.
0-17. Come on.
We are going to deal with you next week on that, Mike.
Eventually you get a W.
Maybe.
All right, next up, we got Martin Foles. Martin's got the Saints over the Raiders by 10. Got LSU on a bye. Martin's a smart man. He goes with Nichols over Lamar by 7.
That's about right.
And Harry. Harry. We got the Saints losing by 14. At least he went. Well,
The
again,
contrarian.
we'll
He's going to
see
get
how that
LSU
works
right.
out.
He's taking Debbie's advice that the Saints are going to get spanked again.
But then he went smart with the locals, and he's got Nichols by 11 over Lamar. Stan, Saints. down by
he got
10. Got him down by 10, 24-34, LSU on the
could be.
bye.
Yeah.
Stan's also going with Nichols, 34-17 over Lamar. Debbie Cox. Debbie is going with the Saints in a win by 10. She is also going to go with Nichols over Lamar.
I like this score. Think about Debbie. 18-11.
No, she must have 8-1 on a card somewhere. It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
18-11. Safety in there.
So
Now,
Debbie, stand up for yourself. You won last week.
Bobby, you're adjusting to your psychological issues. Please leave Debbie alone. I apologize. Sorry for that, Debbie.
Yeah, but anything after the show, she gets $150 an hour for your
I have
therapy.
psychological issues, but not like Kanye or Antonio Brown.
That's not enough money.
Okay, next score, please. Get away from Bobby. We had Debbie already. What we got next? Dr. Pat. Dr. Pat. Dr. Pat.
Come on,
He's got the Saints losing by 7.
I hope you're not treating the Nichols team.
And he's got Nichols losing by a solid 31.
Hey, listen, I might run in here naked if Lamar would beat Nichols 45-14.
Let's hope Nichols wins.
Yeah, really. Let's not see that. That would be
listen, Lamar might have.
I'm done if he does that.
Lamar might have an upset, but not no 45-14.
So,
Come
just
on,
for the
Dr.
record,
Pat.
You're making Francis walk out the room in the back over there.
If Nichols loses by 45-14, Bobby, you're going to be here by yourself next week.
That would be that would be really bad. Coach Rebo needs to answer a few things.
Harvey, y'all bring that spray that BioPure uses. We're going to need that next week.
No, we're going to need some of that psychological help from Debbie if that goes down. All right, so let's go next. We've got Alfred and Associates. They also got the Saints losing. I'm not real sure about that. But they got the Saints losing by 4.
Nichols winning, though.
Yeah, but they do have Nichols winning, so we'll give you credit for
Lamar
that.
shutting out Lamar.
All right.
So between Dr. Pat and
last but not least, St. Martin Borg, Joe, been doing a good job picking. He's got the Saints by 4 over the Raiders, and he's a smart man. He's got Nichols winning 31-16.
We got Rouse's next, I think.
We still got Rouse's. That's correct. I apologize.
You know they go into Saints every time. Look at Tim.
Yeah.
Tim's got a big marketing contract with the Saints.
Tim,
you
you're
know
a
that
wimp.
ain't going
You're a
nowhere.
wimp, Tim.
If he doesn't go with the Saints, he may be hearing from Greg Bensel. And then he's got Nichols 35-27. So.
But wait, let me say something. Saints need Rouse's more than Rouse's needs the Saints.
Well,
true story about it.
Yeah, that is true story.
Again, the only thing I'm worried about is 45-14 right now. So,
all right, that's it.
That's it.
The
All right, I
distraction.
guess we'll see y'all next week, right, Mike?
That's it. We're back next week with another version of Sports on the Bayou.
Yay!
That's
it for Sports on the Bayou. Please visit us at HTV10 Facebook and HTV10 YouTube for a look at this week's show. We'll see you next week. Same place, same time.